once again for another conversation, speaking with business leaders about what they're doing to help their people, associates, colleagues, manage through this COVID crisis, specific in the area of mental health wellness. Today I have with me Dr. Doug Sumner. He's with Shawnee Mission School District. Obviously, their organization is affected greatly by the COVID virus, not only their teachers and their staff, but also their students. And so anxious to get some feedback with him about what they're doing for their team. So thank you very much for taking the time today. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
You bet, you bet. So we'll jump right in. Just help me understand what the world looks like for you today. I mean, obviously, a lot of us have children that are supposed to be in school today, but not in school today. And so it affects not only your students, but your staff and your teachers. So just paint the picture for us a little bit and give us an understanding of the impact.
Yeah, it really has been a shift in many ways. But I think, Ken, one of the things we're trying to do to maintain our focus is to remind people that while our delivery systems may be changing, our mission is the same. Our mission is to care for kids' needs, social and emotional, academic, basic necessities, meals. And under the umbrella of achieving those goals is a focus on the people who are charged with carrying those things out, and that's our staff.
Okay.
We employ just over 3,900 amazing educators, and I say educators broadly to include people who are providing meals, people who are maintaining our buildings, people who are supporting instruction directly or indirectly. So our focus is the same, and that's on people, and I think that's what's helped us, at least initially, kind of adapt to this shift that we're seeing in circumstances. People know that we're putting them first, and we're adjusting as best we can. Parents know that services are not going to be perfect. Anything from technology glitches to a delay maybe in instruction as teachers have time to plan and deliver instruction in a new way. But what we're trying to tell people is it's okay that we need time to adjust. And so the focus has been on maintaining contact and engagement with people, teacher to student, supervisors to staff, and make sure people are, feeling good about the path we're traveling.
Great. And help me understand just the awareness that you have from your seat of, I assume you have an employee assistance program in place for your folks, and what does that look like? Are you aware of people looking to help from that outlet?
Yeah, so again, I'm going to go back to some of the things I alluded to a second ago. We're in the business of taking care of kids, right? But we realize the level at which we're able to do that and the effectiveness with which we're able to achieve that is based on how well we're taking care of the grown-ups. And so EAP has always been important to us, but probably we're relying on it a little bit more day to day now than we have been in the past. Some of the critical services we have from EAP are free counseling, whether it's via phone, video conference, or text messaging even, that our staff can reach out to somebody and talk to. We feel great about the access our staff has to colleagues and supervisors to talk about challenges, but we also understand some of these are really sensitive points. People feel vulnerable and may need that objective outside party to have this conversation with. So we've really doubled our efforts to communicate the access and availability of EAP to folks who maybe have never had a need previously to engage it. So communication has been paramount. Making sure people know what services are provided in addition to social and emotional counseling. We recognize there have been financial hardships for our families. We're paying all of our staff, so maybe the financial circumstances are not born from our organization, but maybe they have a spouse or a child who's struggling financially because of their job. Sure. And so our EAP does an excellent job of providing financial professionals to do counseling and provide assistance in that regard. And also legal services and benefits through EAP. We've had staff for the first time ever think about, I need a will, or I'm having trouble with my rent and I'm not getting a lot of cooperation from my landlord. So EAP does an excellent job of providing legal resources as well. So I think a lot of it is just reminding folks that those resources are available to them and helping them understand how they can access them.
Outside of that, just as an organization and as part of the leadership of the organization, what are you doing to help them manage that stress and anxiety? I know I've heard a lot of other organizations talking about just getting teams on Zoom calls to touch base and provide that connectivity. What are you doing to help them manage that anxiety outside of the EAP?
I think the key for us has been connecting with people, right? Is that even though we're not together, Zoom, WebEx, even phone conference calls, we're trying to make sure, for my department, we're touching base 3 times a week, a minimum, face to face. And so it's an opportunity to not only dialogue about what's going on within the organization, but to kind of do our informal checks on folks. How's everybody look? How's everybody sound? Are we noticing anything that might warrant attention in a private setting that we can have talks? So I think just that engagement is super important. And we're also trying to do it from a social standpoint too. We're trying to separate, a little bit, hey, once a week, let's just have an open call for catching up. People are feeling isolated, and we don't want to send the message that the only time we're getting together to talk is when it's business related.
Right.
So we're trying to schedule time. And I think that's the key. Is we're encouraging people to schedule time for themselves. I know our organization has been really focusing on, hey, within your day, if you have kiddos at home, which almost, so many people do right now in the workforce, is that schedule an hour in the morning for you to have some time with your family. Schedule some time over lunch for you to have some contact time with your family. Mm-hmm. Achieve that work-life balance, that's important. So we've been really emphasizing that in this new setting. We've got a wonderful partnership with a group called Marathon Health, and they are an on-site health center within our organization, which our staff can visit free of charge for well visits, for chronic illness, for injuries. Our staff can get up to 3 months of prescriptions free of cost from our health center. It's staffed by 3 physicians, some nurse practitioners. We have a health coach on site. Okay. So those folks are still engaged with our work community and doing telemed visits, not just for physical issues, but also for health coaching. That's been huge for us. We have a robust well-being program. So we have well-being blasts going out weekly to our staff, reminding them to engage in self-care. We have a fitness center on staff in our school district that, while it's obviously not open now, we have virtual fitness classes going on Facebook. Where we have yoga and things like that folks can tap into and not only kind of replenish their physical self, but also see people that they're used to seeing on Wednesdays at 5:30 in yoga class and, have a quick catch up that way. So we're trying to replicate as many of those services and opportunities that we had in person virtually. Yeah. And I think the feedback from our staff has been really positive.
It certainly sounds stable and sounds like you've put a lot of things in place. Like I said, outside that EAP, people are just looking for connection and they may not need to speak to a counselor specifically, but they need to speak to their team and the people that are in their lives that they have relationships with. So it's awesome to hear that you've put that in place for them.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Well, thank you so much for taking some time today. I sure appreciate it. I know that you're probably very busy with a lot going on, but thanks for taking a few minutes. I'm sure this information will be very helpful to others.
Well, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Thanks for the opportunity to join you.
You bet. Thanks.
Take care.